Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
We are with AJR. Adam and Jack and Ryan are here. Have you ever gone into an interview, guys, and someone actually, not knowing who you are, asked how you met each other and how you formed your group?
Yeah. A bunch of times, surprisingly. Yeah. No. We've gone into interviews and they didn't even know that we were musicians.
Oh.
They're like, so what do you do? You know, and it was like a radio interview.
So much for research.
Not knowing that you're brothers and you're musicians. But I got to tell you, from an interviewer's point of view, I think it would be great just to interview people just blind, cold, not knowing who they are, not knowing what they do. Like, so what is it you do? And just the story starts. It could be interesting. We're not going to do that today.
Or we could do it. I was going to say, are we going to do that today? We won't even get to the album. Yeah.
Well, okay, we have things to talk about. Today, AJR is dropping their new album called OK Orchestra. It's their 4th studio album, by the way. The song Way Less Said is one of my favorite songs. It's one of those songs I play over and over, and I'm sure my neighbors know it, you know? Because you guys are doing My Little Town from Paul Simon in the background, right?
Yeah, that's a sample that we literally had that sample ready to go 8 years ago, and we loved it so much, and we put it in this like disco track 8 years ago, and then we just like put it in the hard drive, and it never came out. And then we were like, conceptualizing Way Less Sad, and it was that moment of like we both had it. Oh my God, the thing from 8 years ago. We took it out, and it was literally like the puzzle piece that fits perfectly, and it was like, okay, like this is fate. That works. It's ready to go.
That's awesome.
I know, but most of the AJR fans today have never even heard that song. They think it's all original. You came up with that incredible riff, everything. It's all you. Congratulations.
That's the idea. Take credit.
The older you go, the more original you are. It's true.
They'll never know.
The Paul Simon stans are after us, though.
Yeah, of course they are. Hey, just out of curiosity, from a business point of view, does that cost? I mean, is there money exchanged for using a sample from, what is it, 30 years ago, maybe even more?
Crazy. All he wanted was a big hug after COVID's done. That's it. Just some attention. No.
Wow.
I doubt it. That is BS. And
yes, it definitely costs money.
Yeah, because he wrote the da-da-da-da-da, so he technically wrote that, so he gets some publishing for writing that.
Do you ever want to sample something and then it's too much money and you're like, forget it, it's not worth it?
We haven't run into that yet.
Yeah, we don't sample very many things. I think that has happened before to a lot of our friends, for sure. Where it's like the person asked for like $4 million straight up, and it's that's probably not worth it.
Well, by the way, if you're watching this interview in our Zoom room, Jack and Ryan still have the apartment together in New York City, and Adam is now in his own apartment in a different part of New York City. Is there some sort of drama that we need to know about, or Adam just wanted to get out on his? Adam, are you lonely? Are you living with someone else? Oh, it's love. You're living with someone else. That's what's going on.
I wish. I'm not living with somebody else. I am very lonely.
Elvis asked that question knowing he was going to say, no, I'm not living with anyone. You must be with someone else.
I mean, last time we talked to you guys, were you all three living together then, or is it always been the 2 and 1?
It's always been the 2 and 1. Adam's getting his PhD right now. He's like about to get it. So I think he spends like so much of his time just working on that.
Wow.
Right.
That's the person who I'm living with, my PhD.
Yeah, that's a full-time person. You know, the last time we had you on, you actually performed live in the bedroom, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. That sounds a little dirty.
It is. And I thought that was very original. I mean, working out of home, I mean, when you're writing together and when you're recording together, I mean, during the pandemic, you know, you're working out of your house, basically. Like we are. We're working out of our houses where we can get the radio show done, and I can fold laundry, and Danielle can put dishes in the dishwasher.
It's fabulous.
Gandhi colors her hair. I mean,
I usually pick up dog poops during the time breaks.
Yeah, Froggy's picking up dog crap. So, I mean, as we see the world starting to open now, AJR on stage, I'm sure you're starting to think about that day. I mean, are there dates coming into play that you're maybe going to be live again?
We might or might not be announcing a tour next week.
Oh, okay.
But you know, it's our favorite thing to do, and you know, when Ryan and Jack are writing the album, they're always conceptualizing what the live version of those songs are going to be. So there's so much of the tour already planned, and there's some crazy ideas. But yeah, if you stay tuned this week, we'll definitely be announcing something.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, because we're all ready to see a show. Of course, the good news is AJR's throwing a concert. The bad news, only 3 people are allowed to show up. So
Bummer.
And it's our parents and Elvis, and that's it.
Okay, I'm in. I know that your single "Way Less Said," which I'm loving, will be featured. ESPN, Major League Baseball, they're going to actually partner with you and connect it with their games. I mean, what is this?
This was so cool. This is like one of the coolest parts of being an artist. You write a song and you write it about your own personal struggles. And then last year we had this with Bang. It was suddenly in an Apple commercial. It was suddenly the theme song for the Kardashians last season. And obviously we didn't write Bang about the Kardashians, but they reimagined this, this story into their own world. And a similar thing happened with the MLB and with ESPN, where they heard Way Less Sad and they said, this is the announcement of baseball is back. And we were just like, oh, okay, sure.
That's awesome.
Why not?
Nice.
We use it as one of our show openers. Well, we use Bang Bang as one of our show openers.
Oh,
really?
I love that.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, do we need to pay them now? Hold on.
Yeah, that's right.
I take it back.
You can just pay
guys.
Paul
Bang,
Simon
bang.
directly.
Never
Yeah,
used
that's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Cut out the middleman. It's most likely going to go to him anyway. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
But with the new album out, I mean, in the old days, it was like, okay, album out. We've got to go on a promotional tour. We've got to get on plane after plane after plane and go to city after city and play venue after venue. And now it's like, well, we're just we have a new album. Hi, we're on the Zoom room. I mean, does it just kind of sputter and bubble out? Or, I mean, are you okay doing it this way?
Wow.
I mean,
Oh, God.
I mean, what happens? What happens? I mean, is it anticlimactic for you to release an album this way? And how do you find excitement if you release an album this way?
No, that's actually a really good question.
We were a little worried about that, which is why, like Adam said, we're may or may not be announcing a tour with it, because touring is such a huge part of okay, we get to look forward to hearing this live, even if we can't do it right now, even if we're because tonight we're doing an acoustic live stream to kind of celebrate, and that's one thing. But to be able to see it in person and hear people screaming back, it's nice to have those dates on the book and look forward to it.
Also our fans, we've gotten so lucky because our fans have become such a rabid cult audience that just listens to every song and dissects it, and they just keep writing to us about it and find new meaning in it. So I really don't think it's the kind of thing, at least with us, that would sputter out. Our fans have just been so excited for the last year to hear this. So I don't think they're going to hear it once and say, okay, that's it. What's next? They're going to keep it for a while.
Talking about AJR fans, you hit on something that's so true. An AJR fan is definitely locked into you personally because your music, your work is very personal. I mean, you show vulnerability in what you write about. You're writing about everyday things that are affecting you. I rarely hear a song from AJR that's, well, it could be about a love triangle between 3 people we don't know. It's always typically about you and your lives. Therefore, you are exposing yourself to your audience, your fans, in a big time way. Is that ever a problem? Do you ever feel like you're exposing too much of yourself through your music?
Oh, wow. Honestly, it's kind of addicting. We started doing this 4 years ago. We really started focusing on let's reveal these things about ourselves. And now it's hard to go back. It's hard to write a broad, I love you kind of song when you're addicted to that, feeling of being vulnerable. We have a song on the album that's about somebody that I went to middle and high school with that I actually didn't even change the name, and I haven't talked to him in over 10 years. Oh. And the song is named after him and how much I still think about him. So that's a perfect example of anybody in their right mind would never write a song like that. But we've become so addicted to that feeling that we're going to put our own reputation at risk for it.
Oh, I can't wait till he calls you. What's it all about the song?
Right.
Royalties.
Did I patch in the call and we air it on the radio?
Hold on, you're slowly patching each member of the show.
Well, I mean, you guys really are talking about some personal things. You haven't gone so far as to do a song about how you secretly eat your boogers or anything like that, which would be a very personal song. But maybe next album, maybe next one, if one of you is into that.
It's funny that you say that because, when we write an album, how many songs are on the album? 13? We probably wrote about 15 songs total for the album, and we got rid of 2. And those 2, the reason we got rid of them is because they were way too personal to the point, because you can go too far to the point where, wait, this is definitely just us. This is not everyone.
Oh,
so
really?
when you get to that point, it's like, okay, no one's going to relate to this because they're like, you do that at 3 a.m., blah, 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 and then so that's why we got rid of them. We sort of detected that.
All right. Well, AJR is here. I want to play two songs.
The Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.